Yo, what is up, my friends? It is Hippo, and unfortunately, I saw the Minecraft movie. Let me be frank. This movie is like baby's first script. It has screenwriting and like character writing problems that are on the level of something like Morbius or like the Michael Bay Transformers movies, maybe even worse, and I say that sincerely. The plot of the movie is that there are two MacGuffins. The movie starts with literally like 10 minutes of narration from Steve explaining the need to know about Minecraft for, I guess, like what, the Gen X parents in the audience. Steve is very autistic coded in the film, and he's also implied to be gay, I think, a few times, which I actually find quite charming. I think that that's a nice choice, and it adds some like unique characterization to what really was like a blank slate of a character. And I like the idea that Steve is like this hermit, you know, who struggles with social skills, and he only wants to wear the same blue shirt. He is very hyper fixated on mines. Like that is such, you know, it's like mines instead of trains. And I liked that, you know. And he has like a lot of homoerotic tension with two characters, and we'll get into that. After this 10 minutes of narration from Steve, we meet Jason Momoa's character, Garbage Bag. And Garbage Bag is basically just Peter Dinklage's character from Pixels.
Pass.
He used to be like a really good like arcade game player, and now he's a washed up loser who like hates his life, and he has curly long hair. And we learn that through narration.
100% comedy is the hardest. I feel like it is, but that's why I hired Jack.
Yes.
We have to have Jack. We have to have Jack Black. Yeah, he's a goat, man. So
then we meet the two younger characters, the siblings, Henry or Hank and Natalie. And when we meet them, don't worry, it's not narration, but I'm going to do my best here to recite the initial dialogue we get when meeting these characters.
It was Mom's dying wish to move here, and I know it's hard. But we can make a good life. I have a full-time gig lined up and rent is cheap. I'm gonna do my best to take care of you.
I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan too. I got some Lord of the Rings kind of vibes to this. You know, you're going on a quest, you know, the whole...
And then the next time these characters talk to Danielle Brooks' character, they're like, I can't believe that you're gonna be a social media manager at this place, but here's your house. And it's like, they're just reading like Wikipedia plot descriptions of the movie, but it's like the actual dialogue that was written in the script. It's very weird and bad. So this girl, Natalie, I guess, is like 18 to 20 years old, and their mom died, so she needs to raise her little brother, who is like kind of an antisocial little guy, and he wants to be an artist and a rocket scientist and a professional gamer, and he's really good at everything, and he has no flaws. He's really a young Flint Lockwood. You know, they bully him for his genius. He goes to school, and he makes a jetpack that works. So, you know, Danielle Brooks plays Dawn in this, and I like her in Peacemaker. I don't think she's a bad actress, but she is like really insufferable in this movie.
Even if you're not a gamer, you can still follow the story.
True.
And that was important for me because I want to be a gamer, but it's not my calling in life.
I do think it's because of the script. I don't think it's because of her. The script is one of the worst scripts I've ever had the displeasure of having to like listen to ever. Her character is that she's a realtor and she runs a side business of a mobile petting zoo. And that's it. Like, we don't really learn anything about her except for like what her jobs are. And then she's like, call me if you need anything. So they do. And then she also gets sucked into the Minecraft world. And she really, like, she shouldn't be there. It doesn't make any sense. It's so funny. It's also bad, but it's so funny. Literally like an hour into the movie, they write the women out. They have a fight scene where like ghasts cause like a fire, and the women and the men characters get separated, and the women do not show up again for like literally 30 to 45 minutes. And when they come back, they're like, oh, by the way, we built a house. Awesome. Yeah, we made the women homemakers and wrote them out of the movie. Awesome. Unless I missed something, I'm pretty sure this movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test, which is kind of insane for what is supposed to be a movie that is like a crowd pleaser that anybody in a family can enjoy, and you want everyone to go see it. And there's two women characters who are like heavily featured in the marketing, and they just write them out of the movie. And the only conversations they ever have between the two of them for like the 3 minutes where we see them without men, they're talking about men. There's one line where Danielle Brooks is like, hey, Natalie, you're good at fighting. Is she? I didn't know that. And then she's like, yeah, and that's why we have to go save the men. And it's like, okay, but we're still talking about men. And then they don't save the men. They make a house. Like, what? There are like no character arcs in this movie for the women either. Dawn, she like, I guess, wanted to do the petting zoo more than the real estate, which they never told us. So then at the end of the movie, she like gets to open a petting zoo. I guess you're like, yay. She chose one job over the other. Awesome. And then Natalie, like her character arc is that she needs to raise her brother. And then there's one line where they're like, oh, you're really good at fighting. So she opens a self-defense dojo in their new town, which makes no sense. And it's not satisfying at all. And it's not a character arc. The character arcs in this movie actually are like, here's how you should participate in capitalism. Thanks, Minecraft. We never learned about these women's aspirations or goals. There were like weird throwaway lines where you're like, oh, okay, like I guess that was hinted at. But like it's really like it's just not there. And the men, Steve, Garbage Bag, and Henry, they all get some development as to like what their goals in life are and what their histories are. And the women just get none of that. And it's like, it's the problems that you would see in like a movie from the 1970s. And it's just so off-putting to watch a movie that comes out in 2025. So Jason Momoa and Steve do kind of have character arcs where they need to like both learn to be less toxically masculine and like get along with other men. Like they're not sexist. They're not sexist to women. So it's like a half-assed version of it. Steve and Garbage Bag are like competing the whole movie to be like, I'm tougher. And then in the end, they're like, we're going to have gay sex with each other. So that's a character arc, I guess. I mean, like it's something, you know, it's at least something, but it's very, you know, it rings very hollow when you consider the rest of the movie. There is a lot of homoerotic tension between Steve and Garbage Bag, like a lot. They are constantly like locking eyes and like getting really close to each other and like intimately gazing for like extended periods of time. And there's like an extended sequence where it's like a joke, like they're fully clothed, but they 69 and ride each other. And there's like so many innuendo, like Jason Momoa is like, I'm going to clench on you now. And it's like, what is his dick in your ass? It's very heavy handed. I don't think you could watch the Minecraft movie and not be like, are these characters going to kiss? And frankly, they should have. It's really stupid that they don't kiss. It makes no sense. They build up to it so much.
The scene, I wrote the man sandwich scene. Just thought it'd be funny, and there was an old SNL skit called The Ambiguous Gay Duo, and it was Gary and Ace, and I just thought that would be funny. The only way to survive, we have to do these crazy moves that look like that, but that's just...
In the end of the movie, there's like a frame where they're grinding on each other while performing a song together. Like but they don't kiss. And I was pretty, you know, give me my money back. Henry, though, does not have an arc. We learn about his character. He's like, oh, I'm sad that my mom died. And also, I want to be a rocket scientist and a pro gamer and an artist and an architect and like an engineer. And I want to be all that. And then he gets to do that. He does stuff in Minecraft and he invents a video game. And he builds a jetpack, though he already built a jetpack. And in narration, oh yeah, the movie ends with more narration. In the end of the movie, they're like, oh, and Henry finally perfected that jetpack. But it's like, he had already perfected the jetpack. The reason that it didn't work correctly in the beginning, even though it did also still work, is because the bullies cut a wire when no one was looking. He did invent the jetpack. But then at the end, they're like, he finally got around to correctly making that jetpack. And it's like, no, like he did that already. Did you forget your own movie? Now, I'll also say the comedy in this movie is really weird. And I do think a lot of people will find this movie very funny. And I understand why. But let's really break down the two jokes that this movie has. Reference humor and sex humor. There's an entire subplot where Jennifer Coolidge, who is like the vice principal of Henry's school, is like trying to seduce a villager after hitting it with her car, and they have sex. I mean, we don't see it, but it's like so heavily implied. Like they obviously have sex. They have such good sex that the villager learns how to speak English, and Jennifer Coolidge learns how to speak villager, and she goes, So that was awesome. That was the best part of the movie, actually. There are all the jokes about Steve having gay sex with Jason Momoa, and there's also jokes about Steve having a former gay relationship with a Piglin general named General Chungus. And there's also like another joke where like Natalie is like pitching something to her boss in like the beginning of the movie, and she's like, guys, we shouldn't call these bags sweaty sacks or something like that because it sounds like ball sacks, you know? And it's like so much of this movie's humor is just like that weird old, like, we're making a movie that only 7-year-olds could possibly enjoy, but most of the jokes are going to be these weird sexual innuendos for the parents in the audience. The other humor in the film is like, reference humor. It's like Flint and Steel, Chicken Jockey, but also like, Chungus, and they use the word unalive. And he says Minecraft. He says, let's mine, let's craft, let's Minecraft.
The only way for me to solve this crisis is to be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
They do some Jack Black singing stuff, which I can only assume is because of the success of the Peaches song from Mario. But they don't like fully commit to making it a musical. Like, Jack Black will sing for like 45 seconds and then it just like abruptly stops. And there's also that one weird part where Jack Black is like, Israel has a right to exist. There's also such a weird joke where Henry needs to like get picked up from school, but Natalie, is his guardian and she's at work. So he calls Garbage Bag and he's like, I need you to pretend to be my uncle or something and like pick me up from school. And Jason Momoa goes, oh, I don't do that anymore. Huh? People were making fun of this movie for like the modern SpongeBob problem where it's like so obviously trying to become a meme. They succeeded because everyone is memeing about Chicken Jockey and Flint and Steel and, I am Steve. When Steve said Flint and Steel and I'm Steve in my theater, which was full, but they were like standing up and like whooping and hollering like, yeah, Steve, yeah, Flint and Steel.
I'm Steve. Flint and Steel.
And frankly, I joined in because I think that is what made the movie bearable, is that it was an experience, just a bunch of strangers trauma bonding together and finding some catharsis in the pain. But here's the thing. The marketing worked. It did become a meme. Like, even if the joke is like, this is so unfunny that it's funny, it worked. They succeeded. They did the Morbius strategy and it worked. So, joke's on you. And now they're making a fuck ton of money and there's going to be a Minecraft 2 and there's a post-credit scene where he fucking meets Alex. And yeah. Overall, I do think the failure of the film completely lies in the script. There are some bad visuals, but actually, I don't think the movie looks that bad. I think considering the designs of Minecraft, to translate them into like 3D animated CGI for like a live action movie, they did pretty good. Like, I thought the zombies looked good. I thought like the villagers looked unsettling, but like they looked good, The world looked good. I thought the world looked pretty at times. There were some bad green screen shots, but like there were a lot of establishing shots that I thought looked really good. I don't think the problem is with the actors either. They're bad, but it's because they're given like nothing to work with. And it's just the script. It's written by like 4 or 5 people and it's 30 minutes of narration and 50 minutes of gay sex jokes. And like, that's it. And like the rest is like, we're going to name things from Minecraft. He's like, Slime Cube. Now, I've spent a lot of time criticizing the Minecraft movie. I dislike it and it feels hollow, but now I have something positive to say. Minecraft is directed by Jared Hess, also the director of Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite. I haven't seen Nacho Libre since I was like 8, and I don't really have an interest in revisiting it, but I love Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite is a $200,000 budget comedy with a 23-day shooting schedule. It became a true indie film success story that all started with getting into the Sundance Film Festival with an incomplete version that had no music or sound effects yet. It was also co-written by Jared Hess and his wife, Jerusha Hess. Spoiler alert for a 21-year-old movie, but the character of Napoleon Dynamite is never explicitly stated to be on the autism spectrum. He is very autistic coded though. He likes tater tots and he really likes to dance. He wants to have human connections with people but struggles with his social skills. He has stims and dislikes being touched. He goes to a self-defense dojo and continues to find ways to express himself and connect with the people he feels comfortable with through the film. The film ends on a lovely note. Napoleon has connected with someone, and he's just gonna play some tetherball with her. This movie means a lot to me personally. In Minecraft, Steve is never explicitly stated to have autism, but he is autistic coded. The only movie original item is a tater tot launcher. The main villain of the film that kidnaps Steve hates dancing. Throughout the film, Steve, Jason Momoa, and Henry find ways to connect with other people, and the film ends on a lovely note. All of these characters, all who were outcasts, have connected with people, and they're just gonna play some video games and sing. For all its faults, for its terrible writing, there is a heart at the center of the film, an idea that Jared Hess has explored before. It almost feels like Napoleon Dynamite has been extracted into 5 different characters. In the article I've been citing, Jared Hess quotes, "To me, the biggest takeaway is, whatever you're doing, try to keep it personal on some level. As much as you can bring your own unique life experiences into the stories you're telling, that's when it's special, and it's not just another derivative piece of work. It's trying to keep that frame of mind with everything that you do." If I'm being honest, Jared Hess just has not had an appealing filmography to me post Napoleon Dynamite, and this remains to be true with Minecraft. Overall, it feels more like a capitalist product than a movie, and sometimes that just happens. In the article, Jerusha quotes, "Our heart is always in the indie comedy world, but then you have to provide your family, and there are big opportunities to make movies with big names and budgets." I would really recommend you check out this article. I will link it below. There are so many interesting tidbits. I didn't know that the production designer for Lord of the Rings, Grant Major, was also the production designer for the Minecraft movie, and that makes the Lord of the Rings references make just a little more sense. This movie just feels like a movie that should have come out in like 2007, and not in a good way. It is so unabashedly a capitalist product, which I think for a movie that's based on a game that is so much about creativity and freedom, that is pretty lame. So 0 out of 10, Jason Momoa and Steve didn't even kiss. I want my money back. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, make sure to like and subscribe. I have some other funny movie reviews if you want to check those out on screen. And other than that, I want to say thank you to my channel members, Jikion, Nunya Tilly Timo, and Kat McKee. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It really means a lot. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day or night. Do not go see the Minecraft movie. Please don't give them money. And yeah, I am gonna go have sex with a villager.